Hello, I'm Austin, and I'm a liar. Okay, so I have played a little bit of Borderlands when it launched, but man, that's a technicality. I don't think I ever played much beyond Nine Toes. That's like saying you played Super Mario and you only played World 1-1. Did you really play the game? But I recently got all the games on sale on Steam and the DLC, so I decided I'd go ahead and give it another try. Thanks, Steam. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of Borderlands. With that, let's get into it. I'm sure you're all eager for my thoughts on a 15-year-old game. I honestly can't even remember why I bounced off Borderlands at the time. I think I was just more into choice-driven RPGs like Fallout and Elder Scrolls. The game just didn't hit for me at that time. I've struggled with ADHD, so this is a pretty common issue, especially at the time when I wasn't on medication. Even if I like a game, I can just not be in the mood to play it. And if I go too long without playing it, then I just have to start over. And I have to keep starting over. I never actually beat a game, and I just stop playing it. It's a vicious cycle. It's why I love going back to these classic games now. I can focus much better, and a good game is a good game. I've now beaten Borderlands, and may go back and do the DLC. I genuinely enjoyed my time this go around. It's not a perfect game, but it's a damn fun one. I played a bit of 3, and comparing 3 to the original is just so much less annoying. 3 is genuinely a game you will have a better time with turning the dialogue off. It's abysmal. Borderlands isn't exactly high art. It isn't some beautifully written game, but does the job, has some funny moments, and doesn't completely annoy me. The story, for instance, is incredibly simple and just drags on a little bit. You have to get vault keys to open the vault, and to do that, you have to kill a bunch of bandits and do a bunch of missions. Nothing is gripping or emotional at all. There's one side mission that actually was effectively emotional, and that's it. I felt nothing at all emotionally in this game. And in this case, it isn't because I'm a psychopath. The story didn't offer me any incentive to keep playing, but thankfully the gunplay sure did. The shooting in Borderlands holds up incredibly well. I have some minor issues with different weapon types, but overall it is very satisfying to gun down bandits and skags alike. The loop of slaughtering enemies, getting new weapons and shields, and slaughtering more enemies and spending skill points is effective. Great motivator for my 15 hours. I was always using new weapons and never got stuck with the same set for too long where it became boring. Bandits have several death animations depending on the weapon, critical hit, and elemental effect. That's fun. It's satisfying to defeat enemies, and that is critical in this type of game. It's really good, but definitely not perfect. The iron sights are abysmal, and all the scopes look exactly the same. That's a little bit lame. Some weapon types just seem far better than others. It could be partly due to weapon RNG, but I never got a shotgun or repeater pistol that ever even came close to what a sniper and SMG can do damage-wise. The revolvers were okay, and I found launchers just didn't work consistently. I would hit enemies dead on, and they would just lose no health at all. I can't tell if it was an issue with the launcher or just an odd quirk of the health bars. I also only tested 2 of the 4 classes, but Soldier was absolutely useless. His active skill is horrendous. He lays down a turret with a small shield, but it only faces one direction. Enemies can just run right through it, and then it's useless. The class I ended up beating the game with was Siren, and she was infinitely better. Her active skill was always useful, and her skill tree just seemed to lead to much stronger builds. I didn't like Soldier at all. That could just be a me issue, I don't know, he just seems bad. I definitely don't think this is perfect gunplay, but for a foundational piece of the looter shooter genre, this is really good. It's an easy game to go back to. A huge part of that, it still looks great today. Borderlands is a perfect example of how any strong art style can transcend the ages. It's similar to how Legend of Zelda Wind Waker still looks amazing today. When you choose style over realism, your game can last the ages. It's part of why pixel art is still popular today. It has style that sticks out from the crowd. Borderlands still looks fantastic. I'd love to see some more varied locales. Those all kinda look the same, but the guns, characters, and enemies all shine. It's really amazing how much a defined art style can really help a game age. isn't going to make a bad game good, but it does make a good game a lot easier to go back to with time. Borderlands still looks really good today. It looks solid. I'd also love to see more quality of life improvements. Only having one active quest at a time is a bit annoying. Forcing me to run to certain places to fast travel is obnoxious in any game. The vehicle combat is also just clunky. It's just a far cry from the FPS gameplay. It isn't horrible, it works, but I just don't love to do it. I also don't love the leveling system. I'm someone who's compelled to do all side quests and I came across, so I was generally pretty over-leveled for most of the game. These are all rather minor nitpicks. They don't really matter much in the grand scheme of Borderlands. They're just a few things I noticed. With the huge looter shooter and live service craze games have been in, I'm impressed with how good Borderlands still is. The skill tree is a bit basic and gunplay isn't the best I've ever played, but almost every aspect is at least very good. Destiny 2 has great gunplay, but suffers from being a live service. It's just annoying to keep up with. Outriders suffered from a lackluster gunplay. Suicide Squad is Suicide Squad. All of these games have pretty major flaws that really hold them back, while Borderlands just has minor annoyances. I'm definitely interested in playing the rest of the games to see how the series evolves. I think the lesson might be making every single video game a live service is a bad idea. That's a video for another day. Maybe. But back to Borderlands, I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't know what to expect going into this game, and never clicked with me before, and the only looter shooter I played for extended time is Destiny and Destiny 2. I love those games. There's just something magical about the gunplay in Destiny. I think Bungie is sneaking cocaine into those guns. I didn't think I'd really enjoy the game, but I walked away quite happy with the time I spent in Pandora. I might go back and play the DLC, or I might go straight into 2. Either way, I know my Borderlands journey isn't over yet, and I wasn't expecting that. Borderlands really impressed me this time around. It isn't a perfect game, but its faults are rather minor in the end. They don't do enough to take away from the wild fun of just slaughtering a bunch of bandits with a bunch of unique weapons. Borderlands is a foundational piece of gaming history. It helps set the standard for looter shooters. Every looter shooter is compared to Borderlands, and with good reason. That said, we are now getting far too many looter shooters, therefore I hate Borderlands, and this game is terrible. It ruined gaming. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Goodbye, and have a wonderful day.